Hey guys, we're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and I brought a returning guest back here with me, EbayPoshman. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Jeff. How are you doing? Appreciate you having me on here today.
Hey, thanks for coming back and hanging out with us today. It's always a good time hanging out with you. In case people in the chat don't know who you are, tell them a little bit about who you are, where you live at, and what it is that you do. You're a full-time reseller, correct?
Yeah. My name's Matt. I'm from North Carolina. I've been selling now full time about 3 years. I mainly focus on shoes. I source at places like Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, thrift stores, Salvation Army, Uptown Cheapskate, Plato's, and mix in a little clothes. But that's pretty much what I focus on, just shoes and a little bit of clothes, and just hit a variety of stores. So it's new and used items,
Yeah.
just wherever I can find stuff.
Well, Matt, I'll follow you on YouTube and Instagram, and sometimes, man, you make it look easy. When I'm out there and I'm looking at products, I'm like looking and looking, and I'm like, all right, now what would Matt do if he was here at this Ross or Marshalls? Because sometimes I look and I just don't see anything, man. So I guess you've been doing it for a while, and you just make it look easy. So let's say hello to our people in the chat. We got Flippin' It Good is in the chat. He says, "Tell me your secret, eBay Posh man." I wanted to give a shout out real quick to Small Town Picker is here. Says, hey, Jeff. Says, I never find deals at my Ross. I wanted to say hey to LKL Graphics. Keith is here. Says, hello, everybody. So if you guys have questions for our guests, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So we got a bunch of questions. First, you know how we do things here on my channel. We kind of get into your backstory first because the title of our video is going to be how EbayPoshman quit his full-time job to be a reseller. So you got to tell us the whole backstory, the beginning, middle, and end. Kind of give us like a brief backstory of how you got started into reselling and how you got to the point where you were just like, sayonara, I'm putting my 2 weeks notice in, I'm going full time. So give us the spill the beans. Tell us what happened, Matt.
Yeah. Also, one of my secrets is if I don't know what to buy or not, I'll just message a Zero there, Flipping It Good, and ask him what he would do. And that's the
you take a photo and send it to him. That's funny.
yes, all the time. I worry him to death. So a lot of times when you're reselling, especially when you're starting out, if you don't know what to do, ask other people who do it. Reach out to other people and ask them, and they're always willing to help. And
Yeah.
and also he recently quit his job, so
Yeah, that's
he
true. I
went full
just
time.
had Zero on a couple weeks ago, and he was just talking about how he was going to put his 2 weeks notice in and quit his job and be a full time reseller. And Gail is in the chat, says today is my last day of my full time job. It's finally here, and I'll be a full time reseller. So congratulations
Yeah,
to
congratulations. Yeah.
Gail, Small Town Picker, and congratulations to Flipping It Good, Zero in the chat. So both of you guys give him a big shout out.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say most resellers need to go ahead and quit right now since Zero went full time. There's no hope for anybody else.
Oh yeah,
He's going to take the world over by storm. Yeah, but
right.
he's a good guy. But yeah, I've been full time now about 3 years. My last job I had was just a factory job. I worked there 7 years. It was 10 hours a day, usually 4 days a week, and some overtime. And I started reselling just stuff around the house, and then I got to where for like a year I would. When I got off of work, I would go to Goodwill. I would buy stuff. I'd come home. I'd stay up late. I'd list it. And I kind of just got hooked on it. And I kind of seen that, I'm starting to make enough money. If I put enough time and enough effort into this, I wasn't making a whole lot to start with. So it wasn't that hard of a decision for me because I knew if I just put in enough time, I could definitely make equal to what I was making. And yeah, just one day I remember looking around in the factory and thinking, do I want to spend the rest of my life in here? There's people in here that's 60, 70 years old. Do I want that to be me? And the answer was no. And I knew that day, I was going to go ahead and tell them I was leaving. I was done. And, I just, you jump out of the boat and you learn how to swim or you drown. So, And
Yeah.
I wouldn't suggest everybody doing it. I have seen a lot of full-time YouTubers that resell come on lately and talk about why they went back to working their old jobs, what they didn't like about it. But as you know, the freedom, I think, is the best part. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and that's where it started. And now I'm here 3 years later. I wouldn't change it for the world. Still got a long ways to go and a lot to learn.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things, man, where, you're going to sink or swim, and, working a full-time job isn't for everybody, and being a full-time reseller isn't for everybody, because you have to have that discipline. You don't have somebody, who's holding you accountable saying, all right, Matt, you need to go out and source today. You need to ship, you need to list items. Like, you don't have that well, I mean, maybe your wife or your kids or your family, but you don't have some boss that's like, well, Matt, you're 5 minutes late. What was the deal? Did you have a flat tire? Did you oversleep? Are you stuck in traffic? You don't have that person like breathing down your neck on your case all the time. But some people can do really well in that environment, and some people can't. Some people, need to have a steady paycheck coming in every week. But you were just at this situation where you're like, okay, I've tried this warehouse gig for a while. I'm with you, man. I was working in a warehouse from 2006 to 2016 driving a forklift. So I definitely have been in your shoes before, and you're looking around. I was driving a forklift, and I look around and I see these guys that are 55, 60, 65 years old, and they just look like their face looked like they had all the life sucked out of them. They had no goals. They had no ambitions.
Yeah.
They didn't look like they were happy. They didn't have like, you would ask them like what their plans are when they retired. Like they just wanted to go home and go to sleep. Like their bodies were tired from working 40, 50 years. So I definitely can relate. And something I don't really talk about a lot, but the average life expectancy of someone who retired at the General Electric factory was only 18 months. That was it. That was your life expectancy. So even though you had a pension and you had a 401k and you had health insurance and benefits, that really didn't mean a hill of beans, because your average life expectancy was 18 months. So they promised you this big pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and when you finally got to the rainbow and you got this pot of gold and you got to retire and enjoy your golden years, it turned out your life expectancy was about 18 months, about a year and a half, and you were gone. You never seen or heard from again. So I don't mean to bring negative vibes, but I'm just being honest with you guys. No. So tell us, Matt, tell us a little bit about your journey, man. So you got started reselling, and your niche is you resell a lot of clothing, a lot of shoes. So tell us a little bit about that. First of all, I want to say, hey, real quick, too, the Selling Sniper just jumped by. Says I sent my boss a text and I quit. He says, hello, EbayPoshman and Jeff. Flipping Good says, yes, he does. His wife is the boss. Small Town Picker says, we're a bunch of quitters. I want to give a shout out to Ebaypo. He says, how many hours do you put in each day for your reselling business? And Selling Sniper says, Dixon Fixins Marcus just quit his job. Yeah, I saw his video today right before I went live. So he wants to know, how many hours a day do you put in your reselling business? You want to talk a bit about that and talk about what your strategy is? Yeah. Your strategy is completely different than mine. So go ahead. I'll try to be quiet.
No, you're fine. And one thing you mentioned, if a person's disciplined, they're going to be a lot better reseller, a lot quicker than other people. To be honest with you, I'm not that organized of a person, so I have to work harder at it. I believe, I have to put more hours in, because it's like a job. You need to have your day structured. From this time to this time, I'm gonna source. From this time to this time, I'm gonna list. From this time to this, But I'm not like that. I'm more like, well, what I want to do today? Some days I might stay home all day and list all day long. Some days I might go out and source all day. Some days I might go out for a couple hours and source, list for a couple hours. It just varies so much. I heard, Joey, who you just interviewed, said he tried to get about 15 listings up a day, right? And I think that's a good for somebody to have a goal. I'm going to do 10 a day, 15 a day, 20 a day. I've been doing like 10 or 15 listings a day. It don't matter if it's 1 o'clock in the morning or it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Those need to get done, and I just want to keep being able to do more. I hired a VA recently from the the website Upwork. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but
how's that going?
really good. The first one I got wasn't that good, but the guy I got now, I mean, he's really good. He knows what he's doing, and it just makes my life a lot simpler. He's only charging me like $1 per listing to for eBay, Poshmark, and Macari, and he's sharing my Poshmark closet. So, yeah, I forgot even what you asked me a minute ago.
Well, let me say hello real quick. Let me say hello real quick to the Thrifted Lounge. You know what the Thrifted Lounge is. Yeah, he talks very highly of you. I wanted to say hey to Paul, the flipping sports guy, and the selling sniper. He says, "What's up, Matt? Man, my man." So, hey, if you guys have a question for a guest, drop it in the chat. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your reselling strategy. What type of items it is that you look for. How your business thrives with your business model. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and tell us a little bit about how your business model runs.
Yeah, so I mainly focus probably like 85 to 90% on just shoes only, and I mix in just a few clothing items. But I feel like everybody's different. For me that works the best because I am more like all over the place, kind of scatterbrained. And it helps me just to focus in on one thing, instead of going in the store and looking at toys, looking at, clothes, looking at golf clubs, looking at everything in the world. I'm just going in the store and I'm hitting the shoe section and I'm going over it 2 or 3 times and I'm just going to find the best things I can find. And I'm going to hit the next store and do the same thing. So I source used shoes and new shoes, and that's what that's what's worked for me, similar to what, Renzi does, dealing with Dalton, buy shoes, try to get your buy costs down and just flip them.
So I asked Matt if he could come on today and give us an example illustration of some of the stuff that he picked up lately in the past week or so. Do you mind showing the audience an illustration of some of the items that you picked up? So that way you can give them an idea like what you paid for the item, what you think it's going to sell for, what we need to be on the lookout for. Because sometimes if you don't know a lot about shoes, you'll go to the shoe section and you'll feel lost sometimes. So kind of give us an illustration a little bit about some of the items that you look for.
Yeah, and I mean, anybody who wants to sell shoes, especially used shoes, you definitely need to follow Renzi, no doubt. But I think I might have lost Jeff for a minute.
No, I'm here. I'll put you on full screen so they can see you. Go ahead.
Hopefully he'll be back. So I go to a lot of different stores. I've been just recently going to Plato's and Uptown Cheapskates, which the shoes are more expensive there, but they're probably going to be more desirable shoe and probably going to sell quicker. So this was a shoe I picked up yesterday.
Go ahead. I'll put you on full screen so I can see you.
Yeah, this Jordan 1. It was $70. Had 20% off, so it comes to like $56. And I just take advantage of eBay's no fees over 100, and I'm hoping this will bring 100 plus. So that's one type of sourcing I do. So I went to the Goodwill. This is like a bread and butter brand for me, Merrill. So I picked these up. These were only $5. I listed them for like $39.99 plus shipping. So I'll probably get, $30 out of these. So good money. I pick up men's shoes, women's shoes. This is another brand right here from thrift store, probably like $5-6 Dansko. And actually these were selling for about 40 or 50. So I mean, thrifting's really good if you want to get started. I picked up these. This is like an Under Armour hunting vest. These were at Ross. They were $16.99. The retail was, probably can't see it, $85. And these are selling anywhere from like $70 to $80. So just a wide range of stuff, new, used, wherever.
So Matt, you sell a lot of shoes. You said so when you go to Ross or Marshalls or Burlington Coat Factory, what's like the first? Because you sell a lot of cleats as well. So what's the first thing that you go to, and what is it that you're looking for? Is there certain name brands that we need to be on the lookout for? Like if someone wants to make a full time income from reselling, what do we need to do? So let's say if I was a bird on your shoulder, or I was following you around, and we went into the Ross or Marshalls, or we're looking around in the shoe section. What is it that we need to look for specifically?
Yeah, well, most people don't notice about me because mostly the only videos I make are like Ross, Marshalls, and Burlington. But I really just make those videos because they get the most views. 75% of the time I'm in Goodwill's sourcing shoes. I just kind of go in there and show people what they have. So if I was starting out, I would start out at Goodwill's. I would start out at yard sales. I would start slow and learn brands to look for. Of course, Nike's going to be one of the best brands to look for, and Ross, Marshalls, and Burlington, and they just haven't been having a lot. So I've just kind of resorted back to buying more used shoes. But I mean, thrift stores, there's hundreds of brands you can learn, Merrell's, Nike's, Dansko, Danner, Teva, Cole Haan, of course, Adidas, New Balance. I mean, all types of different shoes you can pick up.
Okay, we got a question here from the Selling Sniper. Says, I just got into Ross, Matt. What is the absolute best find that you found at Ross, Marshalls, DD's Discount, and Burlington? So what is some of the better finds that you found in some of these places?
I think I told you on the other video we did. I found these Nike. They were Nike Cage Spirit on 2s at Burlington, $69.99. I sold them for, I think it was $790 on
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just a rare find, but I think that's why people like going to those retail stores. I just enjoy going. I have more fun going there, even though it might not be more profitable for me. I'm so used to going to Goodwill's. It's kind of like a treat, let me go to Ross, look around, see what they have that's new,
Okay, Matt. So if somebody wanted to become a full-time reseller, what tips or advice would you have to give them to help them out? If they're on this thing, maybe they're thinking about quitting their job, or maybe they want to keep their job, but they want to make a full-time income from reselling where they can pay their bills and not be stressed out, not be living paycheck to paycheck. What do they need to start doing? Like, what would you tell them that they need to do?
Start praying really hard. No, figure out what kind of reseller you want to be. Everybody has different models they follow. You have your model, with the DVDs and things. You want low buy costs. I heard you talking to Joey. If one of yours gets lost in the mail, you're not worried about it, right? I mean, you didn't pay much money for it. So figure out, narrow it down to what kind of reseller you want to be. Do you want to sell shoes? Do you want to sell clothes? Do you want to sell electronics? Do you want to sell media? And then go follow the people on Instagram and YouTube who are doing it, and kind of reverse engineer what they're doing and put your own spin on it, and just learn from them, reach out to them, like Adam, Millennial Profits. I can't do what Adam does. I mean, Adam sells anything and everything. I don't know how he does it, how he keeps up with it, but he's good at it, and that's what works for him. I've tried it. It just don't work for me. Everybody's different. And I will put in a plug for Adam too. He does have a cook group that any of you want to join. And what you do, there's a membership, and he notifies you, when things, pop up in Walmart, Target, Marshalls, anywhere, Bolos, things to be on the lookout for. And it's really good if you wanted to get into reselling it, and that will help you kind of figure out what kind of field you want to get into, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm actually in his cook group, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so I'm actually a member of the group. But anyways, so you got to figure out what type of reseller you are, and then you expand a little bit more on that, Matt, because keep talking. Tell me what else we need to learn, because that's like one tip. You got to give us like at least 3 tips. Come on, Matt, You got to work with me today. Here, work with me today, pal. Work with me, okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's you can overcomplicate it. Remember how when I come on the live, you was like, Matt, you overthink things. You know, you're worried about the mic, you're worried about the lighting, and it's the same thing with reselling. You can way overthink it. You know, the only way you can learn is to start. You know, the same with Adam. I bought some big like inflatables that are like 15 pounds, and I was, hey, how do you ship this? What kind of box you put it in? What service you use? And the only way I'm going to know is sell one and pack it and ship it. And I might say, hey, that wasn't too bad. I don't mind selling these. Or I might say, I'm never going to sell those again. I don't want to deal with that. So,
well, I mean, in essence,
you just got to try it.
Yeah, well, in essence, reselling on the surface sounds simple. All you're doing is buying low and selling high. That's basically what you're doing. But, you know, Matt, it's just that you sell in a different niche than I do. And it's almost like you've got it down to a science where you can go into some of these places, thrift stores, Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, and you can make a full-time income, not only to provide for you, but your wife, your kids, your family as well. Like, is your wife, is she working right now or no?
No.
No. So you're the breadwinner and you take care of your whole household. Just some reselling. So that's why the people want to hear from you. People comment on my videos and say that I talk too much. So I'm trying to let our guests talk.
No.
Go ahead.
Maybe I make it look easy, but as you know, it's a lot of work. It's never done. I'm never caught up. You know, I would go get in, follow like Chris at Daily Refinement, you know, join his Facebook group, and they will help you get on the right track. I'm still trying to sort it out and figure it out. You know, I make it look easy, but you know, yesterday outsourcing, I was probably outsourcing like 6 or 8 hours. It's not easy. Then I told you I come home and I stayed up to 2:30 at night listening. You know, you got to, you know, your first year or two, you're going to really have to grind and, you know, burn the candle at both ends and put in the work. Or you're not gonna make it. You know, you're gonna have to go hard. And
now,
sometimes
Matt,
I might go out and find a lot of stuff, and sometimes I might not hardly find anything. You know.
So Matt, when you left your full-time job to be a full-time reseller, did you have nervousness? Did you have anxiety? Were you worried like this reselling thing may not work out for you? Were you thinking like, man, if this doesn't work out, I might have to go back and get a regular 9-to-5 job? Or were you just out there hustling like, hey, I'm gonna figure this out? Because you know you have a family, you have dependents that are dependent on you, so you can't just be like, oh well, you know, I tried it, guys, it didn't work, let's try something else, you know.
No, I mean, I think I was super nervous, but I think I was to the point reselling where I knew I was going to be okay. You know, it wasn't like I wasn't making any money reselling and I'm just going to start from scratch. And, you know, I was ready. And yeah, of course I was nervous. Like the first 6 or 8 months, I didn't hardly make enough to pay my bills. But, you know, like I told you, I did DoorDash, I did Instacart, I did whatever I had to do to make that extra money. And it's been a good year so far. I mean, I know there's a lot of money floating around and people are getting checks. But, yeah, this is definitely my best year so far reselling. I've had some really good weeks, you know.
Well, do you mind telling the audience what you did, what your sales were for the past 90 days, or what your sales were this year for 2021?
I'll tell you the best week I've had this year. I made, I think I made $2,300 in 1 week. So
okay, well that's good.
That was probably more than I was making in a month. That job.
Yeah, when you were working in the factory. Okay, now I'm going to try to get caught. I'm going to try to get caught.
Also,
I know that's your like gross number. I know that's not profit. That's your gross number. But Noob Ernie wants to know, says, hello, where is the guest from? He has an accent.
From Columbia. No, I'm North Carolina. I guess this is a Southern accent. Yeah.
All right.
North
and
Carolina.
I wanted to give a shout out to Anytime Picker. Roman is here. I wanted to say hey to the Selling Sniper. Says, I sell anything that makes money. Reseller of all trades. Wendy says hit the like button. Thank you. Roman says, Jeff, you're doing a good job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anytime Picker is here in the chat. Wanted to say hey to Keith is here. And I wanted to say hey to Flipping It Good. Zero says, the first year of full-time reselling, the goal is to survive, cover all your bills, make money for inventory. Profits will come later when you increase your inventory. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, Matt. Is it's like when you're first getting started in reselling, your goal is to kind of build up a platform, like build a base. Like when you're building a house, the first thing they do is they lay the foundation for that house. So the kind of when you're kind of getting started or you're trying to grow and scale your business, first thing you need to do is have like a foundation of inventory that you have listed. And once you have a certain number of items listed, like I have, I don't know, 130 or $140,000 worth of merchandise listed right now on eBay. And then once you have a certain base of inventory, it's easier to kind of turn that inventory over quicker. And then you have capital to kind of reinvest to go get more merchandise. So kind of talk to me a little bit about how does your business model work? Because what Matt does, he'll find like a pair of shoes at Ross for $20, and he'll turn around and sell them for 100, 120, 150, and make pretty good margins when you flip some of these shoes that you do, and you also do clothing as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, some items I do and make really really good money, and then there's other items I sell might make $15, $20. So it's just a mixture of all of it. Just whatever I can find. If I can make $100, I'll make 100. If I can make buy like a average shoe and make $10 or $15, only pay $5 for it. Move it quick, let it be gone. It's a mixture of all those stuff. Slow sales and fast sales.
So Matt, does your wife support your reselling, or does it just drive her crazy when you having stuff stacked up everywhere? You said you got stuff in the basement.
Yeah, I got in my living room's where I list at, so I got tons of stuff all scattered out in the living room. I store it in the basement. It gets overwhelming sometimes. I've heard a lot of resellers talk about it's overwhelming when you work from home and you have all this stuff. It's like you can't never get away from work. It's like if I lived at the factory, I would always be thinking about working. So I'm always thinking about working when I'm home because I'm always looking around and seeing stuff. She does good helping me packing stuff, and I guess she just looks over it. She walks through the living room and just tries not to look at everything laying around.
All right. So Matt, what's your favorite thing that you like so far about reselling?
Just the freedom. I don't know. And it's just the thrill of the hunt for me. And, I just like going out there and not knowing what I'm going to find. And, some days, it's, you might get discouraged out there. And then some days, you might just find all types of stuff. It's just the freedom of it. The reselling community is, as they're just seems like everybody connects, and it doesn't matter, if you make $1 million or you just starting, everybody kind of gets along together and they kind of know where everybody is, and they just support each other. And just one of them things, I guess, fell in love with reselling,
Right. So what would you tell people, Matt, if they go to a Ross or Marshall's, they go in there looking for items to resell and they strike out, they don't find anything. What would you tell them? Like, 'cause that's normal, right? I mean, sometimes you have to go to 4, 5, 6 places in one day to actually find home runs. It's not like you walk in and you walk out in 5 minutes and you're just catching home run after home run. Sometimes you might have to go to multiple places in a day, right? Tell us your story.
Yeah, if you go in and don't find nothing, walk out, keep your head up, and hit another store. Hit another Ross, hit a Marshalls, hit a Burlington, hit a Goodwill. And chances are, if you hit enough places, you're gonna do good. Then you're gonna figure out, what stores are gonna be good for you. Everybody's stores are different. I can go to certain Goodwills, and I know I'm always going to find stuff there. So those are the ones I put on my sourcing route. Create a sourcing route where you can hit as many stores as possible in a certain amount of time.
All right, Matt. So what's your favorite places that you like to source, and what's some of the items that you source the most of?
Yeah, I source Goodwills the most, and it's just used shoes. It can be Nike, Adidas, Skechers. Anything. Men's shoes, women's shoes, kids shoes, Keens. So yeah, most of my time I'm gonna be in a Goodwill because it's kind of the same model as you. It's a low buy cost and high ROI. I buy something for $5. Most of the time, if I buy something for $5, I want to try to sell it for 30. So it's good ROI on your money, and you're not going to. I can walk out of a Goodwill, and spend less than $100 and have a ton of shoes. Which if I went to Ross, I could spend $100 maybe on 2 shoes. So
yeah. Well, the good thing about buying stuff that's new is like if you go to Ross or something, you keep the receipt. If it doesn't sell, you can always bring it back and exchange it and get a refund, or you can return it. And if you buy, let's say, a pair of shoes for $20 and you sell it for over $100 on eBay, you're not stuck with a bunch of fees on eBay fees. So both of those are really good things. So Matt, I wanted to ask you some questions. I got to get into this real quick. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers that you like to watch when you have free time?
Oh man, yeah,
just give me 3.
Yeah, definitely Hustler Hacks. I watched Know It to Flip It a lot. Ciro, Flipping It Good. Kevin, as you know, and they some new ones. I'm trying to think of one's name. There's a couple new ones that's really grown fast. But for me and what I'm doing right now, I would definitely say Renzi 100%. I try to follow everything they've talked about and preached, and if you do that, you'll make it selling used shoes. If you do what they do, they've broken everything down and made it simple. From sourcing, listing, photos, shipping. I mean, they told you how much to have your buy cost for. They want $10 or less buy cost on a used shoe, and they don't even sell on eBay, and they're killing it.
Okay, we got a question from Roman. It says, "What was your biggest sell so far in terms of profit?" We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, that shoe I mentioned. I think I paid $70 for it and sold it, I believe, for $790. I think I made $640 or $50 after fees.
All right. So Matt, before we let you go, man, you got to give me drop some knowledge on it. You got to give me 2 or 3 pieces of advice that would help other resellers out. If they're watching you, they're saying, "Hey, this guy EbayPoshman, I've been watching his videos. He's the bomb. He's out here killing the game. He's got it on lockdown." What would be some advice that you would have to help them out with their reselling business?
I don't know. Most of you shouldn't even think that about resellers because you never see the work they put in. You never see what goes into them. Don't get discouraged when you watch people's videos and you're not finding as much stuff as they're doing and making enough money. Just do your own thing. Stay positive. Keep your head up, and just stay on the hunt. Just keep doing it. There's no secret to this. It's hard work. If you're spending all your time watching YouTubers on how to resell, and you're not getting out there in the field and doing it yourself, you're not going to learn. The only way you can do it is just get out there and find some stuff, take it home, take some pictures of it, put it up for sale, and see if it sells. It's one of those things like me telling you how to ride a bike, and you're not getting on a bike and trying to pedal.
Well, Matt, you can learn the most through trial and error, through messing up and making mistakes. Like you said, when you're trying to learn how to ride a bike, you're going to learn way more about, riding a bike by falling down, skinning your knees and skinning your elbows than watching a video of someone trying to tell you how to pedal a bicycle, because you still have to balance everything, Yeah. So that's good stuff. So, Matt, we're trying to keep this video around 30 minutes. I understand that you're busy. So give us
whenever's good for you.
All right. Well, give us your final thoughts, Matt, and we'll let you go. And we'll have you back on again sometime. Give me your final thoughts. Give me something good, some words of wisdom that you can leave our audience with to help, for their day. Give them some kind of motivation, some word of wisdom, something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always, on my Instagram posts and on my YouTube videos at the end, I always just say those words, keep hustling. You know, it's a hustle. It's a grind. Like with you, I respect what you do with YouTube, because people don't know the amount of work that goes into making even a video like this, you know. But you just consistently put into work day after day, and it's going to pay off, you know. And if you want to be a reseller, just put in the work, day in and day out. You're going to have up days and down days. You're going to be discouraged, but I'm telling you, just keep grinding, just keep hustling, and you will make it. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. Stay positive, and you can make it. Like Hustler Hack says, go out and get it. Nobody's going to make it happen for you. Nobody's going to do it for you. It's all up to you. Like when you was talking to Joey said, you know, when he quit his job, I need Joey's energy. He's got so much energy. But when he said he figured out when he quit his job, there's no boss over you, you know, hammering on you and telling you what you got to do. You're going to have to motivate yourself and just get out there and do it, make it happen. And it's possible. If anybody wants to be a full-time reseller and you're out there listening, you know, you can do it. It's been proven. There's more people quitting their jobs right now and wanting to work for themselves. And I think one of the reasons why is they've had, you know, time off of work, you know, with COVID and everything, and they just realize, I don't really like that job. You know, I'm just working that job so I can pay my bills. And I just want people to know there's other ways to make money than working for somebody else. And if you're going to live your life, you might as well enjoy it. You got to have money to survive, but do something that you enjoy doing to make a living, even if you have to make less money. That would be my advice for all of you out there.
Yeah, for sure, man. I agree with everything you said. So, guys, go ahead and follow our guest here, EbayPoshman. I have all the links. His YouTube and Instagram is going to be down below. If you guys want to come back tomorrow on Saturday, I have a brand new guest for you guys. It's going to be on. Nashville Flippers are going to be on. So be sure to, you know, ask them questions. And they have a total different business model than both me and Matt. They go to, you know, I was watching their videos, and they go to, like, you know, Amazon bins returns, and they found this video game console for $7 and turn around and flipped it for $200 the same day. So everybody has different business models. You just got to be out there. And what do they say? A blind squirrel still gets his acorn every once in a while. So if you just go out there and hunt looking for merchandise, you're going to find it. So just don't give up just because you have a bad day or two. Everybody's going to have bad days here and there. So go ahead and follow our guests. All the links are going to be down below. Till then, you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern. I will see you guys later. You guys have a great day. Bye, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Stay safe out there. And as always, God bless.